Sorry, if you guys are on Instagram, it likes it way too long to figure out.
No.
Big boy lifestyle.
Big boy lifestyle.
We have like 100 followers or something on this channel right now. We had to restart our YouTube when I lost all the passwords to our old account, and I wonder how many people are even going to watch this. But you know what? That's cool. I had some notes of some things I wanted to say. All right. Figure out. How to smoke weed without dying. Hold on. Okay, so a lot of people will ask me how the writing process for White Ring is, or like how we get in the mood or whatever, and I actually do have a lot of thoughts on that. And let me know if you guys can hear me all right too, because I could totally turn this down. I was just jamming out for a little bit, but yeah. So I had a few notes, like they're super like kind of loose right now. So, but I wanted to say, figure out what you are trying to say or get at before you sit down and write. Like that's super important, because that's going to that shit will throw you off if you don't know exactly like what it is you're trying to say. Like when you sit in your chair or fucking put your guitar on, whatever it is. I'm gonna turn this off. This is way too distracting when I'm saying. I'm sorry. But yeah, and pay attention like to every little detail. Like one thing I usually like to do is I just like start with like a chord or just a singular note on like a synth sound that I really like, or get like a good guitar tone that I'm super into, and I just like I find like that drone of like, okay, that note or that chord, like that's the good shit. And like start from there, and then figure out like, you kind of can get into a trance with this stuff, after a while, especially if you're listening to headphones. And that stuff will, things will start, like progressions will start kind of showing themselves to you. If you kind of listen to it for a while, you can be like, oh, I think the next note would be this or whatever. And, just listening to a lot of things on loop, so you get the drone of it. That really helps as a good place to start. And everything, like even people don't really talk about pitching your drums as much as I like snares and your hi-hats and all that stuff. That shit I think is really important, because like a typical like C3, like in the note of C, like a snare hit or whatever, if you're trying to make something that has like a darker atmosphere to it, especially, you want to like turn it down like 1 semitone, 3, 5, 2 semitones. Fuck around with it, see what the song needs, and you can feel like that's always like a good indicator. I feel like is when someone has like hold on 1 second.
I'm gonna put Instagram back on because I can't.
Oh yeah,
Facebook.
put Instagram back on. Or when someone has like someone has pitched their snares, you're like, that person is like paying close attention to what they're doing. So I think that's a really big thing that you really have to do. Yeah, you can tell I have great attention to detail to drum sounds. Yeah, that is true, man. That stuff, that's like industrial shit, right? Like industrial is like let's take these drum machines and play them like keyboards, kind of, right? Like, and let's fuck with samples, and like all that shit is, pitches, it's really important to have that going on. Hold on, I'm gonna try to see if this thing is anything. No, it's not. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to say is, if you're like in a rut, like, so if you don't know what it is you want to say, you're like, okay, that's cool. That's great news and all, but like, don't sit down until you know it is what you want to say, but how the fuck is it that I'm gonna know what to say? But I still want to work, right? Like you can't always have inspiration. Like that shit is just impossible. But one thing you can do to help spark that inspiration or to at least be productive while being uninspired is like do what I call like sound digging or farming, where you basically just, you know, like I use like a lot of software, VST synth stuff and drum samples and stuff. So, you know, you can get way down in the just how much the sheer volume of shit there is for you to choose from. So one thing that I always do is when I'm inspired or I'm in the mood, like I won't like look for sounds. So what I want to do is when I'm not inspired is I go around and I find those sounds, like the presets or the samples or whatever it is that you know, just kind of has that sound that catches your ear. And then I like fuck with it, you know, and make it my own thing or whatever, right? And then from there, you just, you know, open up a new folder in your hard drive or whatever, fucking, I don't know, patches, whatever on your synth, and you just, you know, save all that shit. So you just have like a good, like solid bank to go to when you are in the mood and you don't get weighed down with all the bullshit of like weeding through everything. And that's another big thing too that I wanted to say is downgrade your shit. Like that everyone has way too much everyone has like way too much like choice right now. And like I'm like a firm believer in it's like not like, you know, the carpenter like makes the tools, you know, not the other way around. Like you know, you're giving value to whatever it is that you're using. And that actually like weird fucked up shit like I'm actually using this like really shitty like $200
Hey, he said it
Les
was
Paul.
shitty.
But no, it's actually not shitty. It's actually really sick. But because it has like a unique sound to it, it's because it's like a old beat to hell Les Paul that's like not even a Les Paul. It's a like imitation, like, you know, $200 rip off one. But you know, those things they can sound really warm and nice, I think. But you know, just fucking using I've been using just software, this software synth, this VST called Synth One for a really long time, and I try to only use that or this other VST called Imposker for any like kind of modulation, like just like sound synth design stuff that I'm doing. And I think that those programs are really simple and they don't have many like presets or whatever like that, but they have a lot of good functionality for when you have like when you want to build something from scratch, you know, like those are Synth One was like one of the oldest ones, and it's free, and you can create. There's just so many cool things with. They have a really good kind of like double EQ thing going on that I think it has something to do with the distortion being before the filter or something like that, but. It sounds sick, whatever it is. I like it. Synth One is cool. Don't get too weighed down. Only use like the minimal amount of shit. Like this new album we're writing right now, like so far I've only used guitar. Like I want that to just kind of keep it as simple as possible for that. And I've never done that before. But also, if you guys have any questions, let me know too. I had like 2 more things though. Oh, you could tell I was so stoned when I wrote all this stuff. It's so vague, but all good art is a direct path to some kind of sincerity. And influences are important, but they need to be more like conceptual influences than aesthetic influences. I think when people think about, they're like, I love My Bloody Valentine or whatever, right? And they're like, I want to be like, you know, I mean, that was kind of where I was at when I first started making music. But, you know, it's like, the thing is you don't just like pick up a fucking Jaguar and like some reverb pedals or whatever and just like go nuts. Like you have to kind of think like, what was the spirit of that music in the context of the time that it was written? And that's kind of what's important, is to figure out what the spirit of that artist was and why it spoke to you, And what they would do if like they were, you know, in your situation or whatever, and that's where the influences in my art personally comes from mostly, is I think like what would like the spirit of this be. And it doesn't even have to be a person either too. That's not even like important that it's a person. It's really mostly like it can be with concepts, and that's even cooler. Is, you know, it's like I like to just think about as much like archetypal emotion as possible. Like, what does it mean to feel pain? And then like really kind of sit with that with headphones on and like kind of jam it out, you know? And it's like whatever. It's so like it's so interpretive, right? So it could come out like whatever, and then most of the time it comes out sounding like shit. But it's a good way to kind of like just focus on the mood of the song over like the technical aspects of it.
What comes first, the lyrics or the sound? We were just talking about that like yesterday.
The lyrics would come. Oh yeah, before
How,
or after
like,
the sound. Yeah, you can.
Fuck, we had a good analogy. Like the sound comes first. I don't know. Wait, I just.
Yeah, no, definitely the So I mean, basically,
There's like a sound and a concept, and the lyrics and the voice comes second. And
Usually,
then they like work together to the end.
Oh wait, there's people on Instagram too that are talking. We'll talk to you too. We're on YouTube right now. We're like answering the chat in there or whatever. So go to our YouTube, but we'll get to you guys also. What the fuck was it? What were we just talking about? Oh, the sound, like
we kind of bounce ideas back.
No, usually,
forth,
all right.
But
So usually,
the sound comes first before the voice.
Yeah. Usually I will just like sit down and write something, and sometimes I'll have like a title for it, but other times I just it's just an instrumental, and usually like Adina will come back with the lyrics that she came up with, or even just kind of the melody of the song, just kind of ad-libbed, and then we just kind of like fill in the blanks with like, you know, whatever kind of theme that we had in mind with the song, like, you know, and kind of let it just get fleshed out that way. And we were talking about it's kind of like more like I would be like the editor or something, like in the lyrical content, like it's mostly Adina's stuff, but like I kind of will help her shape it and stuff and come up with good phrases and whatnot. But yeah, so is there anything on that Instagram?
Let's talk about the song. Let's talk about the song "Do You Love Me Too."
Okay.
Lol, you're all high as fuck, huh? That's what I'm thinking.
This is like the end of the day. We went on this hike today that was like so intense. Oh my god, man! It was good though. It was really good. It was all up. It was like the elevation at the top, I think, was 1,106 feet. It's definitely probably the most I've ever hiked up anything.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, we smoked like a bit of weed, but we're not that high. We're just like weird people. Like, I don't like it when people are like, "Oh, you high?" 'Cause it's like, well,
if you're saying because of my eyes, I'm always like sleepy.
People always tell me that I look tired, I look high, whatever, and I'm like, "Fuck you, I am tired."
All right, so this person says, will you be releasing live studio versions of Leprosy? Yeah, we just released it on our album, man. We have it on a single, too. You can check it out on Rocket Girl Records, yo. Yeah, Leprosy's out, man. You got to get it. Yeah, you can see it. It's also like on YouTube and stuff and Spotify. The studio version is out. Wait, and the one out recently, I don't know what you're talking about. The one out recently is not the live one, it's the studio one. How do you, how do you get to that specific Enigma song to sample for Do You Love Me Too? That I have, dude, I don't even know. Honestly, I remember the song title, and I remember that it was Enigma and some like fucking Tiesto or some shit like collab or something. but it was definitely on. It was definitely a song that I like was listening to. I guess when I was in like 10th grade or something like that, or it was on a playlist of stuff I found when I was like rediscovering all that old stupid rave stuff, I guess. But I was like in 99 2000. My AOL screen name was Trance Tripping. I had never taken any drugs at that point in my life. All right, hold on. Let me see. What's the story behind the cover of the album? That is this place called the Coruscant. I guess it's a state park now. But it was
Coruscant Unity.
No, that's just the name of the that
Isn't that
website.
in the park? Oh no, it's in the website.
Yeah, but that's the like archival site that we were able to get some of the photos from. That we talked to before we released our album, got the permission to do it.
They're in the public domain because they're so old.
Yeah. So that's really close to where I grew up. It was like 20-30 minutes from like my house that I grew up in, and it's I had never been to it until I went on a field trip in college to it. And I don't know why you take field trips in college, honestly, but like it was just to like hang out at this like cult. They were like this insular community that lived alone on this little river at like turn of the 1900s. And they believed that like we lived on the inside of the earth and not like on the outside, and that the sun was like directly in the middle. And stupid, but for some reason they thought they proved it with like a string or something.
But I don't think it lasted more than
No, yeah, they were celibate. They were celibate, and they were like forbidden from like talking to outsiders or whatever. So they only lasted like I think like 40 years or something. I could be totally wrong on that, but not long though. Like not more than like whatever the original generation was, and like they're young kids. But it's now a state park, and that photo on the cover is inside like a photo of inside the museum there, and it's just really really pretty. It was really striking when I saw it. I just felt
the colonial old like 1800s buildings are really dope.
Yeah, and the whole like kind of vibe of like to them they thought they were like showing off like how amazing their like how far they had come or something. Like they were showing off with their little sashes and moons on sticks and stuff, and I just thought that shit was like how much we look back at some of the silly shit we're doing right now and be like, wow, that was like a really weird way of showing how like fantastic we are. I don't know. But it's from the Coruscant exhibit or state park, and in the exhibit there. You should check it out if you're ever in Southwest Florida for some reason, visiting your aunt's or your grandmother's house that she has on the beach there that she goes to in the summer. That's how everyone knows that place. Oh, hi, Islamic girls. How you doing? I saw some of your live videos on Instagram from your guys' show with Islamic Girls and Ooh. If you guys don't know, they've played some shows in like Berlin and other places in Europe. And they're going to play North America soon also, I believe. And their shit looks cool. I listened to that shit on Instagram. Adina showed me. It was looking good. What's that? What is this shit?
I think there's only like one person.
Hi, guys, go to YouTube, okay? Please. It's very important. Hold on, let's have them talk to them.
Oh god.
Hey, Facebook, talk to Instagram. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, YouTube. No offense.
Oh my god.
Come Instagram. This is YouTube. All right, you guys are not doing very good at this. It's probably my fault. I'm sorry. Okay, well, let me see if I had any more notes of other things. We're definitely going to keep doing this more often, and people keep like, if you guys are messaging me or us, sorry, no offense, because Adina does get a lot of messages, mostly from animals, like puppies and little turtles and stuff. It's pretty interesting.
True.
But if I like, I don't know, I try to stay off of the phone and off the computer as much as possible. So good to see you in 3D. Hell yeah. When Islamic girls, when you guys come, when are you coming to the United States? Let me know. Hit me up about that. I want to see you guys. We'll be in San Francisco in October.
We
That'd be
think
cool.
we're going to be in Europe soon too, in the
Yeah.
winter.
Now I totally lost my fucking train of thought because I'm stoned. But yeah, we're gonna do this more often.
Maybe, who knows, maybe we'll log on the live stream one day and we'll be in the middle of practice.
Oh yeah, we're gonna start doing that with their practices and stuff. And so if you ask us like questions, we read our messages and stuff. It's just like a lot of times I'm just bad at communicating. I'm sorry, and I want to do this and be more like open and available to y'all. So let's talk here. You guys know where to find us. And hold on. Hit us up when you're around. We will hit you up as
Australia will come. That's high on the list.
But yeah, we'll be starting to like stream practices and stuff soon. We're getting ready to do our tour coming up soon. October 13th, we're playing in San Francisco. It's our good friend Marco's night, 120 minutes. A lot of you guys have probably heard about that. If you're into the Witch House world, and I think Marco is calling this strictly Witch House. So you know what that means.
Strict.
It's gonna be scary.
Don't
Someone's
fuck
gonna
around.
pee their pants. And it's probably gonna be me. So we will be there October 13th, probably doing LA and New York City at least sometime around that time as well.
We'll update you when we confirm.
We'll
dates.
figure this out like by next week sometime. So we'll keep you guys updated. But yeah, Iconoclast, big boy lifestyle. I think that's you. Make your username the same for everything so I can remember this shit. All right, guys.
Bye.
Don't die.